Hi everybody, I am sorry I could not be at school today, but I still need to go over a few things with everybody. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is just a little review of equations of lines. Now let's start off at the top of your paper right up here. Let's name the following equation forms and their formulas. So the name for this is your slope intercept form. Now the reason it's slope intercept is because you can easily find both the slope, which is m, and the y-intercept, which is b. Now our next form, not quite as useful. This one's standard form. So in this particular format, your variable terms are moved over to the left and your constant is to the right. Sliding over just a little bit here, let's take a look at our next format, our next formula. This one's called the slope formula. This formula is for m, and that is the m that is over here in this slope-intercept formula. Our last formula that we're going to look at is point slope. So also a super useful formula that you'll see quite a bit of is your slope-intercept formula. Okay, so moving along on our problems here, let me scoot over to this side. This one says write the equation for a vertical and a horizontal line that are shown on this paper. Okay, so here's my trick for remembering how you write these. Whatever of our axes that our line goes through, that's going to be the one that it's named for. So for example, this horizontal line right here is going right through the number 2 on the y-axis. So this line would be y equals 2. On the other hand, the line that's over here is going through the x-axis at 4. So it's x equals 4. Yeah, it's just that simple to write horizontal and vertical lines and always get the right answer. So now let's talk about writing the equation for it when it goes through a point. Now, you could graph that point on a grid, but it's really pretty simple to do. I'm going to draw my little picture here just so we kind of get an idea of where it is. It's 7 to the left and 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's over here. So if I want to draw a vertical line, so a vertical line, it's going to be that way, up and down. I think to myself, so where would that hit my axis, and which axis would it hit? It's going to hit the x-axis, and it's going to go right through at -7. Now, what if on the other side, I decide to do a horizontal line going that way? Again, I think to myself, where would that line go? It would go through the y-axis at +8. So that's how I draw those, come up with those equations. You will also notice that the x coordinate is -7 and the y coordinate is 8. Okay, so let's go on down here and let's try a few of these. By the way, your homework that you have to do is, of course, 1 through 4 all. We've just done those. And then 6 through 30 even. So we're going to do kind of a little mix here, and I'll leave some of these for you to do. All right. So it says to write our equation in slope-intercept format. So just to remind you, there's slope-intercept format. That's the one most of us like to write. So this would be y equals 0x plus 5. Now, when you simplify that, that y turns into, the 0x just goes away, so you just get y equals 5. Okay. So let's scoot on down to problem 10. Like, let's just scoot around a little bit and try some out. Okay, oh, let's try number 9. So number 9, I'm gonna wanna start by graphing my 2 points. So I'm gonna go over 2, up 3, there's that first dot. And then I'm gonna go -4, 0. And I wanna imagine that I've got a nice line going through there. Yeah, I kind of left a little space around the dot just so we could read the dots a little better. Okay, so first thing I need is I need my y-intercept. Well, I'm sorry, my slope first. So I'm gonna do it like you could look at this and you could count the slope. It would be up 1, 1, 2, 3, up 3, and over, see that's 3 spaces here, up 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me just double count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So over 6. So if I'm thinking about what my slope is, it's rise over run. So I went up 3 and over 6 to the right. If I had gone to the left or down, it would be negative. So my slope is 1/2. So let's try and figure out if I were to just go up 1 and over 2, that would put me here. Up 1 and over 2, that's going to put me right on that point that's right there, which is at 0, 2, and that's my y-intercept. So my b is 2, so my equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Now I'm going to leave number 10 for you to try out, okay? Let's go down to the bottom. And let's try rewriting into standard form. Oh, let me remind you what standard form looks like. That's what standard form looks like. Variables on the left. X is traditionally going to be first, Y will be second, and any constants on the right. So let's slide in. Why don't we try number 12 together? Knock out one of your homework problems. So it's mostly right. So this piece, these 2 pieces right here look good, but unfortunately that piece is in the wrong place, so I got to get it to the other side. So standard form would simply be 2x minus y equals 8. That's standard form. That's really all there is to it. Let's try another one just to make sure you've got it. Let's go over to 13. So my y is already on the left, but my 3x isn't, so I'm going to have to move this to the other side. And when I do, it'll be -3x plus y equals 2. Standard form, done. That's all there is to it. It's all finished. Okay, let's go to the next page and look at a couple of these. So the ones up at the very top are continuing to write things into standard form. I'm gonna leave those for you to try. Let's go over to point slope. I'm gonna do a point slope formula with you. Just to remind you, there is your point slope formula right there on the front. It's 3b. So if I wanted to write this in point slope form, you write y, you don't replace that y. What you do is you replace your other y. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When you're doing this problem, sorry, it's got the little stopper on the end. This is gonna be your x1, and that's gonna be your y1 right there. So let's go ahead and let's fill that in. So I've got y minus 2 equals, and if I'm looking at the formula, the next thing that comes up is the m, so that's 4. And then x minus -5. All right, I got a little cleanup to do. So 4x. Now that double negative becomes a plus, so that's plus 20. Now the form it would like my final answer is standard form. So that means that this constant, the one that's right here, is going to have to go that way. And this x is going to have to go that way. So using signs, I'm going to use -4x plus y equals, and I'm going to move that -2 to the other side, so this side becomes 22, and it's in standard form. And I'm going to leave number 20 for you to do. So 20, you're going to have to start by finding your slope, and you can either use this point or this point, whichever one you like, for your y1. Okay, so Let's see here. Why don't we skip on down? I'm going to leave 22 for you because I feel like you can fill in that chart down here and then graph those points and come up with your equation. Let's see here. Looking over here, 20, let's see. I feel like you really can, give these a try. I know you may struggle with them a little bit. Don't worry though, we're going to go over them together. Let's see. Okay, well, why don't we do 26 and kind of wrap it up, and then I'll leave the rest of them for you to give a try to. Okay, oh, no. Let's make sure we do one more on the second page. All right, so let's see here. We've got the total bill for one camper. So I'll call this Y equals, okay, and let's see what it says. It says it's $338 for 12 days. And the total bill, so let's see, we got to write some kind of an equation that we're going to be able to come up with no, I want to leave that one for you because I really feel like, no, you guys are going to like that one. It's not a super tough one and it's kind of interesting. So do 26. I don't want to ruin that one. Let's slide over to the back side though, and let's do this one down here, down at number 12. No, not 12. Let's do 14 together. 14 together. Okay, so when you have a problem like this and you're sitting there going, I don't even know where to start, what you want to do is, if possible, you want to try and find 2 points that cross at a nice spot. So I'm going to pick this point, which is at 3, -2. And then I'm going to pick this one, which it's not exactly crossing, but it's close enough where we'll be able to write a really good equation. And let's see, this one crosses at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and -1. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do for number 14 is I'm going to calculate my slope. You could also do this by counting. Let's do this with calculation though, because I haven't shown you how to do one of those. So you're always going to pick your second point minus your first point. And notice I'm doing the y's first because it's rise over run, so you do the y's. And then down here on the bottom, you're going to have your second point, which is 7, minus your first point's x's, which is 3's. So let's see here, up on the top, I've got 1/4. Now let's see if that agrees with our counting method. If we counted, we go up 1 and 4 to the right. That's definitely the slope. All right, so you have to pick one of these 2 points. I'm going to pick this first one just because it feels right to me. So using point slope, I've got y minus -2. Watch out for those signs. 1/4 times x minus 3. Okay, so we got to do a little bit of algebra here. So that'll be y plus 2 equals 1/4 x minus 3/4. All right, now that 2 has to go to the other side, and I'm going to have to subtract it. Yes, I know that's a fraction, but you can always use a calculator. So I'm going to have y equals 1/4 x. And here's the math I'm doing. I'm actually going to do it over here on the side because I want to kind of do it. So I've got -3/4 minus 2, and that 2 is coming from right there. So that's -3/4 minus 8/4. So that's -11/4. And that is what you want for an answer. All done. Okay, so what are you supposed to do today? You need to finish up the even problems for the remainder of this worksheet. You don't have to do them all, just anything that's divisible by 2. And of course, hopefully you've already watched the video. That's what you're doing right now. And then you're going to finish this worksheet. Tomorrow, you need to start working on your review for your test, which is next Wednesday. So I'm going to be back in class, ready to answer your questions for you when we get back on Wednesday. And I want to spend all of our time going over stuff that you couldn't do on the review. Now, right now, the first half of the review key is posted. Sometime over the next couple of days, I'll put the second half of the review key out. Your homework for that remote learning day is to do that review. Okay, the more of it you can do, the better. If you want to, you can start off doing all the odd problems and then come back and fill in the even ones just to make sure you got everything. I'm also going to have all your quizzes graded and ready for you so you can get those back and I can answer questions over those. I hope that you all have a really wonderful weekend. Remember, this is, any questions you have, you can still email me. I'll be reachable by email. I'm just not going to be at school because I'm at a family event. And again, hope you all have a great weekend.